welcome to the third episode of the Mile High Creative Apron, how to create a European style window box. You know, I've been to Austria and Germany many times, and every time I travel there, I always admire the beautiful window boxes found virtually everywhere. So today I decided I would create a European style window box using this window box I found at a local hardware store, and I will now embellish it using this 1x4 piece of wood that I will design and create scrolling like in Europe, paint it and attach it both to the front of the window box and to either side, so that when you look at it, it'll look a lot nicer and more European than just this plain box. And that's what we're going to do today. I hope you enjoy it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take very careful measurements of the 1x4, because I am going to cut this into three pieces, the front piece and the two side pieces. Now I've made my cuts. Here's the front piece, and here are the two side pieces. Now I'm going to draw the stencil. First, I will piece together a few sheets of paper to equal the length of that front piece. Now that I've done that, I will take various items I found in my kitchen that have round edges like a plate, a small bowl, and a drinking glass, and I will use them to make the initial drawings of my stencil, which I will refine. And now that I've worked on it, I feel like I'm pretty happy with it, and here it is. I've only drawn half of the size, the length of the board. Now I'm demonstrating how once I cut the stencil out and eventually draw it on a piece of wood, it'll look like. So now that's what I'm doing now is I'm going to take my marker and go over the pencil drawing that I made of the stencil. And once that is done, I'm going to take a pair of scissors and I'm going to cut it out. Please note that I've only drawn the stencil on one side of the length of the sheet of paper, because I'm going to flip it on its mirror image side so I can draw the other side on the wood. But first I've got to cut it out with a pair of scissors like I'm doing. And once I have that, I will be ready to actually mark on the piece of wood. And there it is. So now, there it is. I'm going to secure the piece of paper on the wood so I can take my marker and mark the stencil that I've made, just like this. Just carefully mark along the edge of the paper that I've cut on one half of the board. And once that is done, I very carefully remove the stencil from the board, because I'm going to reuse it by flipping it on the other side of the board to complete the entire design. And there I am doing the other side of the board. But before I do that, I'm going to reinforce the marker drawings I made on half of it. Now I'm doing the other half, doing the same thing by securing the paper stencil on the wood so it doesn't move while I make my markings on it. And now I'm doing the exact same thing with the small pieces of board that are going to be attached on either side of the flower box. I make my markings very carefully. I do the mirror image on the other side. It's the same thing on the like I did on the larger piece of wood, just a smaller piece of wood, which will be attached on either side of the window box. And there it is. And now that I've completed that, I've taken the 3 pieces that I've just drawn on, and I've taken the jigsaw and I've cut them out, as you can see, and I've given each piece 2 coats of paint, in this case a wine color, and I'm now taking my stencils and I'm going to embellish each piece with acrylic paint, and there you have it. I've sped up the process because it took a bit of time, but these are the 3 pieces that I've made. And now I'm going to demonstrate how well they will look when I have attached them to the window box. And there you have it. I have my European style window flower box that I embellished with the various stenciling on the boards that I made, and it turned out quite nice. Here's a side view. Here's the other side view. And all I did was I attached each piece with various wood screws. And now we're ready to plant our flowers, because spring has sprung here at the Mile High Creative Apron. Please, if you like this video and you are so inclined, please subscribe or give it a thumbs up. Until I see you next time for my next project, whether it be something I'm cooking in the kitchen or creating outside of the kitchen, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time on the Mile High Creative Apron. Bye.